For everybody listening and on YouTube watching, this is pretty cool. You have the guts. You'll absolutely just reach out to anybody, B2B opportunities, business to business, or whether it's people. I wouldn't even call them leads because they don't become leads until you have the guts first. So when you give something away, it looks like they're getting $700 worth of value.
What you see is a whole bunch of values stacked on top of each other, and all it took was a like, a follow, and a comment.
Because for her, that's a cost of an opportunity to possibly get a long-term client as well.
Being in the studio, that was just fueling with fire.
Today, I'm here with Emma and Jared from Six Cycle in Pennsylvania, and these guys are killing it right now. They've already seen a 300% growth in their spin studio in just the last 6 months, going from $15,000 per month to $45,000 per month in revenue. What I love about Emma and Jared is they get marketing. They understand that marketing is more of an art than a science, and they've gotten really, really creative to generate hundreds of leads without running any paid ads. They've done it all with creative promotions and great sales activity. In fact, their efforts have resulted in them not having a low cost per lead, but a profit per lead, meaning they get paid each time a new lead comes in. And we also talk about their sales process, knowing their numbers, and Emma's incredible story to how and why she even started this business in the first place. So if you're anything like me, you're going to love these guys too. Let's get started. Jared and Emma, you guys got together, and the relationship is what? Boyfriend, girlfriend? Is that what we are?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And pretty serious, though. You guys just moved into an apartment together, and you guys have already been through a lot together. And Emma, you've had this business obviously longer than you've had your relationship with Jared. What did that look like, the decision to bring Jared in? Because I feel like that was a yin to your yang, right, in regard to the company. So what did that look like?
100%. It was the yin to my yang. I brought Jared in as a client, just in starting to date. I said, hey, I'll go on a date with you if you come to my studio. So he ended up coming in. And then after being here for some time and learning the ins and outs of everything, it came, we were dating probably for about 6 months, and it came to my birthday. And so for my birthday, he's been in sales. He's been in sales in all different kinds of realms, but he was in life insurance. And so he decided to try to do his own sales pitch on Instagram, and try and get me new clients as my birthday present. So he started doing all of his own outreach and brought in nearly, I think, 132 new clients in the month of January. And so at the time, he had been doing a couple of different jobs and just said to me, I think that my time is worth spending here. I'd like to help you. And without a thought, I said, you're on board. So it was pretty as simple as that. But he just saw the need for what I wasn't making happen or what I wasn't doing and what he could really give to me. He really loves the business. So it just worked out pretty perfectly.
I hate to cut already, guys, but we were dating for a year and a half, not 6 months.
Actually, can we not cut that?
It just happened this January, and we're at 2 years.
Oh, that was this January. I was thinking that it was the January after we started dating.
I'm done.
For all men out there, I think we keep it, because usually we get that. And I want to use Jared as a representative for all men that we remember stuff too. Is that fair? Can we not cut that? For sure. Okay, great. So, but here's what I want to dive into. The cool thing about that is, Emma, you said, hey, if you want to date me, you got to come work out at my studio. So you already started. So you already started the sales process, and so now, Jared, you're like, wow, this girl's really making me sweat, literally. You go in there, and then he, for your birthday, gives you way better than flowers and chocolates and all that stuff. He gets you like a ton of new members. And at that point, you're like, okay, I should lock this guy down.
For sure. Funny enough, I said, I'll go on a date with you if you come to my studio. And he said, if you send me a voice recording in an Australian accent, I'll do it. So he kind of gave a little something back. And I was like, oh, this guy's funny. was like, all right, I'll do that.
Wait,
But
hold
yes,
on.
then
Do you have a skill set in an Australian accent?
no,
So what did it?
no, I
I
actually,
hear it. What did it sound like?
oh my gosh, I was sitting at the desk at Six Cycle Googling how to speak in an Australian accent. It's awful. My voice recording was awful. I think it was like, hello, Jared. I'd love it if you would come to my cycling class at Six Cycle. Then I think that was it. I kept it as simple as I could, and it was pretty bad.
And at GSD Con, we had Australians on stage, and I had them imitate American accents. You guys probably enjoyed that then, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My accent was nothing like hers. She was lovely.
Perfect. Okay, so now, Jared, really cool. You came in and you got, a ton of new business and opportunities for the studio in that month of, it sounded like January. What did you do? And by the way, this is one of a slew of really good creative ideas that you guys have done. And that's what I really like. I think a lot of people think marketing is all data and science, not realizing that marketing is also an art and it's creative. It's primarily creative. And you guys really tap into the creativity part of marketing, not just the science part of it. So what was that first campaign that you had done that really helped Emma realize like, wow, there's something here?
Yeah, it first started off as just a series of text messages to clients on Instagram, copy paste text messages, and then evolved into a Canva graphic to go with that, then evolved to making those text messages a little more personal.
When you say text messages, you're meaning DMs, right? Like sending them
Correct.
a DM through Instagram. Okay.
Yep, 100%. And then that led into, wow, okay, we also have this huge lead list, phone numbers, clients that have fallen off, right? So, we got more people in that way as well. And it was just a matter of sending it out to as many people as possible to be able to generate some buzz and generate some conversations. And it was just pretty much like a new year, new me kind of promo, $24, 1 month unlimited, 2024. So we just took that and ran with it and, contacted as many people as I possibly could. And yeah, at the end of the month, we had some pretty impressive results.
Now, the people that you reached out to, who did you decide you were going to reach out to? Like, obviously you're not just DMing anybody. And also the copy and paste thing, you did it a little bit in a more unique way because you knew that you could get blocked or put into spam if it was just copy paste or like completely. So who did you reach out to and how did you make it scalable, but also make sure you didn't get in junk or spam?
Yeah, the campaign 2024, I was trying to figure out new ways to get people in here for an extended period of time. And I was selling 1 month unlimited packages for just $24, to correlate with the year 2024. So I was just I was just sending messages out to followers, pretty much every single follower that we had, anybody that interacted with any of our posts, anybody that just recently followed, they were getting a text from me. And what I would do is I would look at their profile. I would try to get some information about them, and then I would include that in that copy-paste text message that I had go out to them, just to make it a little more unique and a little more personal, so that way it felt like it wasn't just that copy-paste text message.
And when you say text message, you mean a DM within Instagram, like going into their inbox in Instagram. Okay. And so it was $24. So they were paying to become a lead because you weren't spending money to get the lead. You were going directly to people and you were getting paid $24. How many people did you get to take that $24 offer?
Yeah, it was in the ballpark of 140, somewhere, give or take.
You had people paying $24 to get this offer. How many people did you actually get to give you $24 to take advantage of this offer?
It was slightly north of 140 members that we got in paid into the gym.
So you had 140 people take advantage of a $24 offer that you didn't pay a penny in ad spend to get. So you made $3,300. Most people are spending over $3,000 on a campaign with between the agency fee and the ad spend. You guys got paid $3,300. And those people that are spending $3,300 with an ad agency, a lot of them aren't even getting 140 leads. And you got 140 leads and you got $3,360. So you had a cost per lead of negative $24, which is a profit per lead, which is really cool. Now, out of that, how many of those people did you turn into new members?
Just about 52 of them.
52 people turn into paying members. Man. Now that's in 1 month?
Correct. Yep.
Emma, what was the record prior to that to most new members in a month?
That's a great question.
Was it ever there?
Actually, no, not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
So that was a good month. Okay, great. And so I guess the question I've got is, because you guys have a decent following. I think you had about 1,500 followers when you first started doing this. So there's some gyms and studios that are listening in and they don't have that, but then there's people that have way more than that. But obviously, even if you have half that, if you got 25 new members, you probably feel pretty good. But who did you decide you were going to message? Like, how did you decide on who was going to get this message?
Anybody and everybody, honestly, except for the people who were already members, right? So anybody who commented on our post, interacted with it, liked it, all of our followers, again, excluding current members, and people who just followed us. So I kept it within those parameters. And then just to switch it up and make it less mundane for me, because I did spend a lot of time and energy sending these out. Then I also went to our lead list in our CRM, and I started contacting people that way who have downloaded our app at a point in time, right? But never actually converted to a member, just blasting that out to them as well.
That's amazing. Have you ever thought of doing it to competing studio followers and comment?
I have actually. Yeah. So there's a place right down the street from us in the west end of Allentown. They're a big fitness brand, big fitness studio. They're not like a global gym by any chance, but they are very large. They have all different types of activities there. And what I did was I went to their cycling posts. This was actually recently, about last month. And then I just started hitting up people who liked all their content, people who were tagged in their content, people who followed, that subsector of their fitness. Right. And I started, contacting them as well. So yeah, wow. I've been poaching people for sure.
Very cool. And, I think a lot of people just forget, people are people. That's all it is. We just want to get our message in front of people that are interested in the things that we do. Okay. So that was one campaign that you did. And what was I know it was $24, but it was $24 for what again? What was the name of the offer and the style?
1 month unlimited.
1 month unlimited. Then after that, to become a paying member, what does it cost?
At that point in time, before we restructured our memberships, $165.
Got it. And now?
$179.
Okay, cool. Now you did this other thing. I remember I created this kind of training on offers, and I called it Mother's May, and you ran it better than anyone I've ever seen run it, and you even added a few things. So before we dive into how you did it differently, which I do want to touch on, what was the outcome of that campaign?
Yeah, so we actually we got 50 winners, but not all 50 claimed their prize. So after that, because you had to take a class here at the studio in May, once June 1st hit, everybody else was pretty much disqualified. So we got 29 people to claim their prizes. From that, we have 6 members, different membership categories, not all the top tier 179. We have a couple in the basic as well. And also we have a student/teacher membership, which is just 3 months, paid in full, unlimited classes. So we have a couple, spread out. But, we did get 6 brand new members out of it. So, and a lot of buzz and, helping out some of our friends who are local business owners as well. So that part didn't actually cost us anything. Yeah. The only thing that we did was we comped, membership for a couple months of one of our clients here, who's the massage therapist, right? To be able to help her out, because it was just an exchange, right? An exchange of goods.
And I want to dive into that. And was that the same campaign that also brought a lot of awareness? You had 309 leads or opt-ins or something like that in a 9-day period?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anybody who was tagged and was brought aware, whether they entered, the giveaway or not, I treated as a lead and I shot out a whole bunch of DMs to a lot of, people who were entered into it as well and saw the giveaway. Again, whether they entered or not, I treated it as a lead because they saw our name, they saw our brand.
That is awesome. So,
and just to touch on it real quick, just kind of relating back to what you had asked me before, with all of this, I might not know the exact number of the new clients we had brought in before, but as far as our capacity goes, there were times that our capacity for certain days was in the 30s, and when he did his first campaign, almost every day was between 80 and 100%. So, I mean, there were classes that would reach four to nine people that were full every day. I mean, we didn't even know what to do with ourselves. Some of our instructors who had never had full classes yet before were having full classes almost every time now. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see. And just, I think the studio just obviously felt, being in a full class obviously gives you a different vibe. So people just started to feel the energy of being in this studio that was just fueling with fire. So, and, and ever since then, we have some days where we dip down to 60, but ever since then, we've ranged between 60 and 100, depending on the day, which has been pretty awesome.
Coaching a big room of 3 people with 18 empty chairs is way more difficult and draining than training 21 people with not one chair left open.
For sure. And we've done it all. Obviously, when we opened, we talked to one. I talked to, if someone wanted to show up and take a class, I would teach to you just to get our name out there. So, but now luckily, there's no more. But
I love it. So with that Mother's Day campaign, so obviously I know how it's structured because, I like doing this type of offer, but what was the breakdown? Like if I'm a mom, what do I see and what do I get?
Yeah, so what you see is a whole bunch of values stacked on top of each other, and all it took was a like, a follow, and a comment. And in return, we were giving away 50 prizes, $25 Lululemon gift card to each person. So again, we bought 29 of those. A meal plan consultation. So that's not a meal plan creation that our members get. That's a one-on-one consultation. So that way it gives us an opportunity to sell the membership. Anybody who bought a membership, we're going to be donating those proceeds to the Moms Foundation in Easton. Moms offering mom support. It's an acronym for low-income moms who are just, getting into motherhood and parenthood there.
Moms
on top of that,
offering mom support, MOMS. Man, I didn't know that until today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's a national thing, but it's definitely local here, about 30 minutes away. They get a 1-hour massage with our client, who's a massage therapist. They get 5 classes with our good friends who own the Hot Fitness Factory. They do hot HIIT workouts. They also do hot yoga. So, brought them in on board. And also they get a free cryotherapy and a sauna session over at the new house in Easton as well. So all that value packed into one, and blasted out to everybody.
And with the massage therapist, you probably didn't have to pay or anything because for her, that's a cost of an opportunity to possibly get a long-term client as well, because there's value there, right?
Yep. So what we did was we comped a year of her membership. And the way that I broke that down and justified that is if we're giving away 50 1-hour massages, right, and we're not paying her to get in on this, I'll comp a year of her membership. And, again, we made that up with the members that we brought in, so no big deal. I just thought that was fair, with all the massages. That's 50 hours of work she's going to be putting in, right?
She also offers her services for almost every single one of our events. So she's been a part of 3 of our events so far. Always offers, like we're doing an event this weekend or next weekend. She'll have her massage chair set up down in our basement, just giving out massages to people the whole time. So she's done that quite a few times. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, when
like
you
to
think
do
about
trains
it,
like that.
Even for her, like if I'm a massage therapist and I'm wanting to build up my book of business, the reason this is a good trade-off for everybody listening and watching in, partnering with massage therapy companies or cryotherapy companies, recovery, like all these things, they all, just like us, they all pay to do marketing as well, which means they have a cost per lead and they have a cost per acquisition. So, but the problem is, just like we all know, sometimes we get leads that aren't qualified, like they maybe don't have the money, or they didn't know it was anything like this. And maybe they don't have a need. Well, the cool thing is, if I'm a massage therapist and I'm down the road from you guys, I will 100% service any of your clients for free if they just join, because I know 1, they've got the money. I know 2, they live in the area. And I know 3, that they value their body. They're probably going to be pretty sore. And so this could be a really good long-term client versus the leads I might be getting on Facebook or Groupon, even worse, right? So it's a great relationship to build. And this goes for, like I said, acupuncture, physical therapy, cryo, recovery, smoothies, any of this stuff. these are really great ways to build relationships where you can do win-wins and value stack your offers so you can put so much in. So when you give something away, it looks like they're getting $700 worth of value when they are, but it really only costs you nothing, right? Like barely anything. I think the Lululemon card was the only thing, right, Emma?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And people have asked, how do you ask these people to be a part of it? You just ask.
Yeah.
For the most part, every people want to be a part of it. That the event that we're doing next week, we have a place called Energy Wellness. They do like IV trip therapy. They were so grateful when I asked them to be a part of it. So, and we changed the date. They're like, can we still do it? So people want to be a part of doing things like that and are happy to be asked to be involved in something to give them clients, like you said, that are valuable.
Yeah. One of the things that I love about you guys is if your gym's not growing or it's not growing as fast as you'd like, there's a reason. And the faster you identify what that reason is, the faster and easier it'll be for you to be able to get to where you want to go. And we've created a tool to help you do just that. It's the Gym Scalability Test. And in this test, in about 5 to 15 minutes, you'll be able to quickly identify what your biggest constraint and opportunity is to be able to take this business where you actually want to go and in the speed in which you want to do it. And the great thing is at the end of the test, when you get your results, you'll also be given a bunch of tools to help you with your specific constraints. So if it's lead generation, it'll be tools just for that. If it's retention, it'll be tools just for that. All free for you as a thank you for being a listener of the GSD show. So head over to scorecard.loudrumor.com to be able to take your gym scalability test for free and start your path to be able to growing it faster than you've ever seen possible. Thanks so much, and back to the show. You have the guts. You'll absolutely just reach out to anybody, whether it's B2B opportunities, business to business, or whether it's people. I wouldn't even call them leads because they don't become leads until you have the guts first and you reach out to them and you get them to come into your lead system now because they're interested, right? It's the easiest thing to do. Doesn't mean it's the most effective or the easiest long term, but the easiest thing to do is just to put your hands up and say, okay, Ada, you see, do your job so people can see me and how successful I am. That's the easiest thing you could do. What you guys did was go, I'm not going to, my success isn't going to depend on anyone. I'm going to go get the business. I know what we do, and I'm going to go find people that could be clients of ours, and I'm going to draw them in with an offer. And that's what you guys have been doing consistently since I've met you in a bunch of different creative ways. With the sales process, obviously leads are only as good as your ability to close them. And so, Emma, how has the sales process changed over the last, let's say, 6 months, 7 months?
Oh, geez, night and day. I mean, we had no sales process. And when one was implemented, seeing the way that we did things, because for a while, only Jared and I really knew what the sales process was. So we would witness other people who didn't know doing things the way that we had always done them. It was like, oh my gosh, no wonder people leave and never come back. I will say, I mean, I can attribute so much of the strength and knowledge of the sales process and the guts of it to Jared, because, what a lot of people, what holds back a lot of people, even myself naturally, is the limiting belief and the assumption of what people are thinking, by asking certain questions, or what people may think, if you do a certain thing, I don't want to be too pushy. And, Jared has been able to change the mindset into not thinking it of as sales, but making you realize that people don't walk in the door of a fitness studio not looking for help.
Right.
People are hoping that they want to like your gym. They want to become a member. So, I mean, for the most part, obviously there's a one-off where somebody brings their boyfriend.
Overall, they're there for a reason. They're 100% there for a reason.
For sure. So, but being able to have a structure to it, I mean, that's been one thing since joining Loud Rumor. We've been trying to implement so much of what we learn over time, but the structure of the sales system, the intake form, the process of all of that, and really understanding the why of making things personal and personal to each individual has been so impactful. We're really changing people's lives, and outside of just the class that they're taking, we're really figuring out how we can help them. So it's been pretty awesome. And it becomes easier and easier. Just like you talk about all the time, reps with anything is the name of the game.
Yep.
So it's like, you just keep practicing it, keep doing your role plays, keep getting more comfortable with the language of it. And soon it's natural. And soon it doesn't feel like you're reading from a script. You're just going into the conversation. You can lead it that way. So it's been pretty cool to kind of even feel how I know that I've changed, because I've even been in sales my whole life up until now, but I wasn't good at doing these types of things.
Yeah. Well, repetition is the mother of skill, and consistency is the mother of habit. So you guys have definitely done that. And by the way, everybody that wants to see like how Jared was able to do that, I actually put out a video that is pretty much a high level training of the offer that Jared ended up essentially modeling after. We did this maybe about a year or two before we met Jared. So if you go to loudrumor.com/great-offers, again, loudrumor.com/great-offers, and you'll actually be able to get that training for free. The other thing I want to dive into with sales, and more Jared on your end, because you're a sales guy. From your end, what are some of the things you saw that were implemented on the metric side, on the making sure that activity was done? Like, what are some things that you've seen be evolving?
Yeah, so one thing that we evolved was we upgraded our CRM system to a different software provider, so that way it allowed us to log a lot more on client profiles. So now every time a staff member has a meaningful interaction with a member, every time that we fill out a client intake form, and there's a good piece of information for us to know whether we've helped that person become a member of our community here or not, it arms the next staff member trainer, because they can see it on their apps before class, or member experience reps who are our front desk staff. They're able to see some talking points to be able to either build a continuous relationship with that member to help our attrition stay super low, or it allows an extra talking point or an angle for us to be able to realize how we can help that person to become a member. So that's a big one that's kind of translated and trickled down all throughout the team. But really the client intake form, right? Training a whole group of people who have no sales background. We need to make it as simple as possible. Sales is never easy because it is uncomfortable. But if you can make the process as simple and duplicatable as possible, so that way somebody can learn how to do sales in a very simple way, and then just build the blocks, of knowledge on top of that. That's what the intake form does. So it allows us to have them fill out a form to give us talking points of their potential pain points, of the problems that they need to fix, of things that we might need to workshop around them as individuals. So that way we can really cultivate like a unique experience directly for them. So I would say those are two of the biggest things, are the intake form, and the handoff handback, as well as the CRM that we updated to. So that way the whole team can stay, up to date on what's going on with every client.
Yeah. The intake form, what it does, it allows you to overcome objections before they ever come one. A lot of people always, they ask, like, what do you do when someone says I don't have the money? What do you do when somebody says I need to think about it? Well, I don't know. Is that the real objection? Because they may just be saying that to you because they know it's hard to overcome. You might have lost them a long time ago. And so when you're able to find out the real reasons that they're there, and you're able to overcome stuff early, now you're so much better. It's like the example of the date, right? Like, you didn't lose the girl at the end of the date when you said you want to go do this again sometime. You lost her at dinner. You lost her on the car ride to the restaurant. And she just gave you whatever, objections she could give you. And she just doesn't want to tell you, I don't want to date you again, right? Nobody's going to say, I don't like your studio. So you really want to be able to overcome those early. That's how you overcome objections best. One of the things you mentioned was the intake form. And I know I just gave something away, but I'll give something else away for anybody watching. If you guys want a template for that, go to loudrumor.com/intake-form. Okay. Emma, your story is pretty badass. For everybody listening and on YouTube watching, this is pretty cool. Emma, in about a couple minutes, like, what happened? Like, what's your story here? How, like, you had an accident. I want to dive into that for a second.
I did. Yep. And, everyone's got a story. So it's just figuring out how to leverage your own and figure out, where you're supposed to go from there. So I lived in Pittsburgh, which is actually where I found Six Cycle originated in Pittsburgh. It no longer is there, but I was in Pittsburgh. I worked in the oil and gas industry, and I was at a work lunch, coming home from a work lunch, and I was in a near fatal car accident. I sustained a brain injury, a level 2 brain injury, separated my carotid artery and I herniated a disc in my back so bad that it put me in a wheelchair. I was life flighted to a hospital in West Virginia. I was in the hospital for a few weeks. I honestly can't remember that much, but and then I ended up being moved back home, which is in the Lehigh Valley, which is where we are in Allentown, for my family to take care of me here. So in that time, so I was home in November of 2019, and I had been home for a few months. I went to move back to Pittsburgh then in March of 2020. So St. Patrick's Day weekend, and we were quarantined that Monday. So from the pandemic. So I still wasn't back to work yet. And so I moved back home again. I moved back to the Lehigh Valley. And in my recovery, I had been looking for a cycling studio because what I found at Six Cycle, I taught at Six Cycle on the side when I was in Pittsburgh. So what I had found from that, I just couldn't get in any other way. I played sports my whole life. I played basketball. I played soccer. I played basketball in college. And, even finding something that made me feel that competitive, it made me work out that intensely, on my own, especially cardio, and have a good time doing it. I couldn't find any. So I'd been looking everywhere around here to do that in my recovery, and I couldn't find a place like it. So fast forward a couple months, in like July of 2020, I had the option. I was thinking that the election was going on at that time, and I'm in the oil and gas industry, so not super hot. And I thought to myself, if I go back to work doing anything, I loved my job. I worked in sales. I worked for a pipe distribution company, selling pipe. And I thought, if I go to do anything, what would I want to do? And what Six Cycle does, and what I try to bring, and what I knew I could bring by opening one of my own, is the mentality and what I wanted to share with people. And that's what's cool as an instructor. You get to share with whoever's in that room the way that you think about life, and the way that you can change things. Like we just saw Michael Burnoff. He's like talking to people about your mindset and your frame, and changing your way of thinking about life and yourself. You get to share that with whoever's there in your room and make them feel more empowered and truly change people's lives through rhythmic cycling, which just sounds hilarious, but it's just so true. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to bring this here. Even talking to people at the time about what I was going to do, and they would talk to me like it was just any other type of workout. And I'm like, you don't know until you know. So I knew that I could bring something special to here. And when I was a little girl, my dream was to just keep finding ways that my life was genuinely happier and more peaceful, and just share it with my friends and family. And I'm like, man, that's exactly what I will be doing here. So I moved out of Pittsburgh. I never ended up going back there. I got all my stuff. I moved back home, where I actually never thought that I'd move back home to, and opened a studio here. I didn't know a thing about being an entrepreneur, other than I know that to be great at anything, you have to work your ass off. So I knew that I loved it. So that was going to get me through. So yeah, I moved back. We opened the doors October 16th of 2021, and here we are. So coming up on 3 years, almost in October.
Man, that is awesome. To go from a tragic accident like that, brain injury, to, building up a brand like this. You guys gone from 14,000 to 42,000 or 40,000, I think, in 6 months, right? Is that what it is?
It's been a while. I will point out real quick that before, when I started dating Jared, we were almost evicted.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't pay my rent. So, Jared's actually what saved me from being evicted. But so, there were, even at the time, we talk about numbers. I was trying to do everything on my own and didn't even know the right numbers to look at.
Right.
It's like, I wouldn't have even known to be a part of Loud Rumor, honestly. So, and, to look at the things that are important to look at and to scale, I didn't know those things. I knew my classes were doing all right. People loved what we were doing. And that's, how you said, just trying to lean on, hoping people knew about me, wasn't cutting it. So, we were almost kicked out for not being able to make our rent. And now we've been able to skyrocket past that. So it's been a pretty cool thing to see these things be implemented and work.
Well, the work ethic was always there. We just needed to combine your skill set and Jared's skill set, combined with some metrics, some processes around it, and you guys took off. When you talk about the numbers, that's a big challenge for a lot of people. You just don't know what you don't know. And okay, this will be the last one I'm giving away just because I feel like it's too many. Usually I like one or so, but if you go to loudrumor.com/scorecards, loudrumor.com/scorecards, you get a free training on that as well, because that is an important piece. You guys knowing the numbers. Okay, guys, so really quick, we're going to end with something fun here. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. Since there's two of you on, for the sake of time, we usually do it differently, so we're going to go this way. And before I go into the fun thing, if anybody has questions for Jared or Emma, you guys can, I've already talked to them. You guys can message them on Instagram and they can help, maybe guide you if anything. Jared, your Instagram handle is what?
My first and last name, Jared Nosal, JaredNosal.
Perfect. And Emma?
Mine's Emma Alexandra, except there's only one A in the middle. So like Emma Alexandra all connect. So EMMALEXANDRA.
Perfect. We'll put it in the description, and then, for those watching on YouTube, you've already seen it. Okay, so you guys have anything, reach out to those guys. Okay, ready? Got to go quick. These are quick fire answers here. Jared, if you weren't a human, you were an animal, what animal are you?
Fish.
Emma?
Lion.
Ooh, you're the second lion I've talked to today. Okay.
No, I eat that.
All right, you guys are on your deathbed. Last meal. What are you eating, Jared?
Tacos.
Tacos. All right.
Surprising.
Emma? Steak. All right. Apple or PC?
Apple.
Nice. That would be weird. I've not seen a couple where
I have a desktop that's a PC, but my laptop is a Mac.
Love it. Chess or checkers?
Chess.
I don't really know much of either one. I mean, I know either one, but
You don't know how to play chess.
no, but it's a more visually, aesthetically appealing game.
Love it. Okay. And then you could have dinner. Each of you can bring one guest, dead or alive, to the table. Who are you bringing? Dead or alive?
Honestly, first person who came to my mind was Elvis Presley. I'm not sure, but maybe Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. That's who's coming to dinner. All right. How about you, Jared?
Harry Mack, freestyle rapper.
Harry Mack. That dinner is going to be insane.
Yeah, I was just rapping the whole time.
All right.
Eating a lot of food.
I love it. Yeah, you'll be eating a lot of food because Snoop Dogg's going to make sure everyone's hungry somehow, I'm sure.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah, he brings the appetite.
All right, guys. Well, hey, congratulations on your incredible growth. I mean, you 3X'd in a matter of 6 months, and you've done it with creative advertising, which I respect tremendously. Enough people don't do that. And so I love people that really appreciate marketing for what it is and don't downplay and think it's just about paying an agency to run Facebook ads. You guys really have the respect and give it the respect that it needs. So thank you, guys. I'm excited to see you guys 3X again and continue to grow this thing. And for everybody watching, for everybody listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.